I had this big long video that I was making while setting my hair because it's an unusually quiet Sunday morning, and it suddenly cut off while I was saying something. So, let's start all over again. Hi, my name is Jamie. Um, I'm autistic with ADHD, so a lot of the mess you see behind me is because of untreated ADHD. Watch this end up on Reddit and the click react to it, which I would actually love, but I would love more if people would take my cosplay videos on TikTok and post them on Reddit. Because I know at 49, both boomers and Gen Z tend to find me cringe that I do cosplay, especially since I'm not only 49, but I'm fat. But I would love to see the click come to the cosplay side of TikTok and see that TikTok is not the cesspool that the algorithm makes it look like. Um, anyway, so my video was all about aliens and this big conspiracy theory that for centuries, if not millennia, all the governments of the world, despite the fact that the governments of the world hate each other, even when they pretend to be friends, and despite the fact that many governments have fallen over the centuries, um, have been covering up the existence of aliens and that aliens are visiting us. uh, Now, let me start off by saying I do believe that alien life exists on other planets. My most logical theory is, at this point in my age, is that aliens are not visiting us either because we are not ready for a visit, or because sadly we are the most technologically advanced species in the entire universe, and we're going to have to get to the point where we can go visit them. You know, those are the only two logical. Now, as a kid, I did believe that aliens were visiting Earth and doing experiments on us humans, which very frustrated my dad because my dad is Christian and he embodies that in evangelical Christian, and I use that term loosely because I do not believe that evangelicals are Christians. Belief that aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, the Loch Ness monster, all that, they are actually demons in disguise trying to distract us from God. That's what he and a lot of evangelical Christians believe. My mom completely believes in ghosts and Bigfoot and all that. I personally, when it comes to Bigfoot, my belief is that it's really human beings who are living off the grid and kind of hermit lives, and the reason why they're so hairy is because they're wearing the skins of animals that they killed, you know. Um and and of course not shaving and not waxing and not bathing properly, and that anytime there's human remains found in the forest that they can't identify, it's actually somebody who was living as Bigfoot. All right. That's my belief when it comes to Bigfoot. But as a kid, I totally believed the whole conspiracy theory thing. But as I got older and thought about it logically, um, I thought to myself, well, why would a bunch of governments that hate each other and ones that have been taken over agree to cooperate on this for so long? And the only logical explanation I could come up with is that if this conspiracy theory is real, the aliens can prove that all gods and goddesses exist and all religions are equal. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because, you got your governments that are based on monotheistic religions, you've got your governments that are based on polytheistic religions, and then you've got your governments that are based in atheism. And for the atheist based governments, it would be to their benefit if aliens could prove that there are no gods and goddesses and no supernatural beings of any kind. It would benefit them to release that information. If aliens could prove that there's only one God, monotheistic based governments, it would benefit them to release that information. And polytheistic ones, if they could prove that, well, there are multiple gods and goddesses, but the one God of the Christians and the Jews and the Muslims, um, he isn't real. There was no Jesus for the Christians and the Muslims, because Muslims do believe that Jesus was real. You know, that part isn't real, but yeah, Zeus is real, Odin is real, Ananse the spider is real, Coyote is real, Kali is real, Ra is real. The Canaanite gods and goddesses like Moloch are real. So it would benefit the polytheistic governments, right, to reveal that. So that's the only logical explanation I could come up with. that if there is this worldwide conspiracy, it simply is that aliens can prove that all gods and goddesses are real, know that they are not aliens, they are actually supernatural beings, because you get the stupid ancient aliens thing, which people, the whole belief that ancient aliens were gods and that they helped build the pyramids and all that, it's all racism. It's all racism. Because look, they say that aliens helped build the pyramids, that aliens helped build the I forget the proper name, but those heads on what we mayonnaise people call Easter Island. Um, but they never say aliens built the Roman aqueducts. They never say that aliens built Stonehenge. Look, they completely ignore all the amazing structures that white people did because, oh, white people did it. But, oh, well, they're not white, so obviously aliens helped them. Yeah, if you believe that aliens built the pyramids, you should be wearing a white hood and robes because you are racist. So, yeah. So that's my explanation. Now, let's say, obviously I'm not. I mean, look at me. But let's say I'm capable of overthrowing the current fascist regime in Washington, D.C. Um, let's say I'm capable of doing that. One of the first things I would do, besides release the full and unredacted Epstein files so the victims can finally get justice, because that's the only way certain people are going to believe that Epstein trafficked not just girls, he also trafficked boys to powerful men and women to rape. That's the only way you're going to get people to believe that Trump is a pedophile, and he definitely is a pedophile. He's definitely in those files. Um, I believe it 100%. He was not shot, by the way, because ear cartilage does not grow back. He was never shot. He's in the files, and he has dementia. That's all 100% facts, despite the government trying to cover that up. Um, I would instantly declassify any proof that aliens exist and are visiting Earth. I would make Area 54 a historic tourist attraction and lay all that proof out there for everyone to see. And I would do that for two reasons. One is it would gain me a lot of trust with people, and two, that it would actually demoralize those that still worship Trump, despite all the proof that he is a monster. Um, so, so it makes sense when you think about it that if aliens are visiting Earth, then in order to protect things like the war machines, and the money you can get if you are a warmonger, if aliens can prove all gods and goddesses exist, it makes sense to hide the existence and visitations of aliens. Because let's face it, I believe ultimately the majority of humanity are good, and I believe that while you still have your crackheads like Joel Osteen and other monsters like him out there, the majority of humans, if they found out that all gods and goddesses exist, they would realize that, hey, your religion is just as valid as mine. There's no reason for us to fight. There's no reason for us to kill each other over our religions. Um, yes, I believe I am washed in the blood of Jesus and I'm going to go to the Christian heaven, but you believe in Odin. Odin is real, Valhalla is real, and you are just as cool as I am, and we can be cool with each other, right? So, that right there is my logical reason why governments would hide the existence and proof and everything. That's the only thing that I could come up with that makes sense. Um, Now, I have come up with another reason that I believe shows that there is absolutely no proof that governments have been working together for centuries, if not millennia, to hide the existence of aliens. That there is no proof, and that aliens actually aren't visiting us. And that is simply the fact that if the proof existed, especially here in the United States, if that proof existed, the current Republican Party would arrange for Trump to declassify all that and have that dementia riddled pedophile confess to it all, release it all to the people to distract us from the Epstein files. because everything that he's done from the staged assassination attempt, yes, I can't prove that the assassination was attempt was staged, but he definitely was not shot because again, ear cartilage does not grow back. Um, so it's my personal belief and my opinion that that thing was staged. Um, to everything that he's done so far is all to distract us from the Epstein files and from the fact that he has dementia. Um, it's all been done for that. And I do find it funny. Charlie Kirk was 100% a Nazi, by the way. 100% a Nazi. Turning Point USA is a Nazi organization, despite what they try to claim. Um, but it is funny that a Nazi scumbag like Charlie Kirk, who was killed, he was not assassinated because he was just a podcast bro, not a politician, not a world leader, so it's not an assassination. He was killed by a fellow Nazi not long after he said, "We need to release the Epstein files." Find that highly suspicious, don't you? Once you think about it logically. Anyway, that's my whole thing. This is about where the video cut out on me last time. Um, just out of the blue. So I think I'm not going to push my luck. Do visit my link tree in my video description if you want to get to my TikTok account and find videos there that you can post to Reddit to hopefully get the click to see me in my cosplay. I think he would very much enjoy the one where I stitched a gynecologist on TikTok who was saying about, she was going to list things not to put in your vajayjay. And I stitched it as I do this cosplay. She's an actual goddess, minor deity from the Greek pantheon named Adaphasia. She was the Greek goddess of gluttony. In Roman, it was still Adaphasia, but with two D's instead of one. And she was the goddess of good cheer. Um, anyway, it's just listing all the things like don't put Zeus in your vajayjay. Don't put anti-vaxxers in your vajayjay. Don't put Zeus in your vajayjay. I kept repeating Zeus. At one point, I said Poseidon. So I think he would enjoy something like that. He might enjoy my Pamela Voorhees. I don't know. I don't know if he's into Friday the 13th or not. Anyway, that's beside the point. Um, I just really want to get click to the cosplay side of TikTok. And yeah, I'm going to get weird messages from men with curler fetishes now because curler fetishes exist. And the one thing I can't stand about messages from them is they never offer me money. At least guys with foot fetishes will offer you $20 for pictures of your feet.